Hello, everyone. Samantha Russell here from 20 over 10. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. This is my first time going live with an AMA, and I am just thrilled with how many of you sent in questions and signed up to join us. So first things first, this is truly just a really informal live Q&A style session. So I'm not sharing my screen right now. There may be questions that come in that I'll want to share, but if you don't want me to just be in a teeny little box in the corner of your screen, if you go to your Zoom panel settings, you can click on speaker view, and then that will make the video larger on your screen so that I'm not just off in the corner there. So we'd love to make sure that you can hear and see me okay. So if you can let us know in a quick comment in the chat box that you can see me and hear me okay, that's good. We're also streaming this live on YouTube. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, I record a video every single week on a quick digital marketing tip for advisors and put it over there on YouTube. And so that's a great place to subscribe and stay up to date with what's going on with 20 over 10 and all of our tips. And we are streaming this live on YouTube there. So we're going to start doing more live YouTube streaming. And if you want to get notified anytime we go live, you would want to subscribe there. So great. Awesome. Everyone is saying they can hear and see me good. So I got about 38 questions sent in from all of you fantastic people ahead of today's session. So I have a lot already that was sent in, but you'll also be able to put in any of your questions, live right now as well. So Amanda Larson from my team, who a lot of you have worked with, she's amazing. She's in the background, and she's going to be putting in links and other answering live as well. So she'll be manning that. If there's anything specific that you're looking for, she can add in the link there as well. So I think we'll just jump right in. If there's something very specific you want to make sure we get to talk about today, whether it's social media best practices or websites, put them in and we'll highlight those first for the people that are on. But we have a pretty sizable group, about 70 of you joining us today. So again, thank you so much for doing that. So the first question I want to start with, which is something that came in a couple different formats, comes down to social media. And actually, Maury, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thanks for kicking it off with this question, because this is exactly what I wanted to start with. We got asked this a bunch of different ways, which is, should I be posting to personal or company pages when it comes to social media? So there's kind of a two-pronged answer to this. Number one, a lot of the social media scheduling tools, especially in light of everything that happened in the last election with Facebook actually no longer allows you to use a tool for social media scheduling and post to a personal page. So you have to post to a company page if you want to use a tool that schedules your posts for you automatically there. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing is, it's always good to have a branded company page on social, no matter what, because people expect you to do that. If you are a legitimate business, they expect you to have a branded company page for your brand. However, that being said, people interact and form relationships with other people way more than with brands, right? So it's sort of this double-edged sword. You have to have that branded LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter company page, but you really are going to get the most engagement when you post on your own personal page. So if, number one, you are able to have personal pages from a compliance standpoint, I highly recommend having them. You might not be incredibly active on all of the pages. That's not what's most important. So a lot of you might follow me on LinkedIn. That's the platform that I like the most. I recently started getting active on Twitter, but I don't post there as often. Find the platform that you like the most, post there the most often, but still have your branded company page and reshare content from that company page on your personal page every so often. So what you don't want to do is post a blog to your LinkedIn page and then reshare it to your personal page every single time, right? Why would somebody follow both of those accounts if they're just resharing the exact same information? But maybe I don't know, 20 or 30% of what is shared on your company page, you can also reshare on your personal page with a new kind of commentary above why that's important. So that would be one way to do it. Additionally, if there's multiple advisors or employees of your firm, having that branded company LinkedIn page or Facebook page, and then everyone has their own profiles, and they can each take turns resharing certain things or linking back or tagging the company page. That's the best strategy. Additionally, the more you can make what you share on the company page a little bit more fun and interactive, the better. So for instance, at 20 over 10, Amanda did a really good job this summer. Anytime one of our employees would go on vacation, she'd say, send me your pictures from your vacation. And she would share on Fridays a picture of that employee, where they went, a quote about what they did, so that, people interacting with our company all the time got to know people behind the company, who they're working with. For back to school, she got some really embarrassing photos of everybody on our team from the first day of school. Luckily, she didn't get her hands on any of mine, though she tried. But we shared like a collage of a bunch of our team members from kindergarten and first grade on their first day back to school, and shared that on our social media channels. And then our employees reshared those. So think about ways that you can make your company page more personal and interactive as well is really key to not just having them be these static, boring pages. At the end of the day, though, you do need to just set those company pages up because they are another link for an SEO purpose back to your website. Okay. So hopefully, if you have any follow-up questions about what I just said there, keep commenting. Another point that we got asked about social media was, how often should I be posting on all of these different platforms? And how often should I be updating my website in general, right? So those are two different questions. So I will tackle them one at a time. First of all, with social media, I have really increased my own personal cadence and how often I'm posting on social media as kind of a test to see what people will be the most receptive to and what gets the highest engagement. So I now post, on LinkedIn 2 to 3 times a day, 5 days a week. And those 5 days are kind of sporadic. It's not like Monday through Friday. Sometimes it's the weekend. It just depends. And when I do that, the number of leads, the number of engagements, the number of comments and shares we get goes way higher, drastically higher than if I'm only posting once a day, or, even once a day, but for 3 days a week, right? So I really haven't seen the threshold. I'm sure if I posted 10 times a day, people would get sick of it. But I think if you have a lot of really great information to share, you can push the envelope and post more often. Now, that being said, what I'm sharing is not, 20 over 10 is a great company. Sign up here. Did you see that 20 over 10 released this product feature? Sign up here. Did you see that 20 over 10 is doing this? Go create an account here. It's just great educational material that anyone can use, whether they're a customer of ours or not. And so that's what you need to be focused on. The way that you use social media to convert people into actual clients is just to provide really, really valuable information. Somebody was just saying to me the other day, why is content marketing so crucial? And I think what you need to think about is, if you were going to hire a contractor to come to your house and redo your kitchen, you would want to see a portfolio of their work, right? If you were going to hire a lawyer, you would want to hear, maybe you go online and read reviews. For a lot of financial advisors, they might never have any reviews about their business. And it's a lot harder for people to gauge whether you're good at what you do or not. But content marketing is a great way to show them that expertise. So you can post articles that you're reading and give some commentary about why they're important or why it's a good read, right? So if you read an article in the Wall Street Journal about some tax strategy, don't just repost it, but talk about your take on it in your post and start a conversation. If you have tips for people on using the, certain social security calculators and which social security calculator they should use depending on their circumstances, that's real, tangible, helpful information that anyone could use, whether they're a client of yours or not. And so that's what's important, is sharing content that allows people to get to know you, gets to know your expertise, what you believe and what your thought leadership is, without feeling like they're needing to buy something from you or sign up right away or become a client. So that hopefully is helpful in terms of how often on social media. It really is just how much good information do you have to share. I just posted on LinkedIn today about how often, and by the way, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, and I can pull, actually, Amanda, maybe I will share my screen for just a second here. So that you guys can all see. Sorry, I'm doing this in real time here. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you guys can see that. Here's my LinkedIn profile if you want to go there. But I just posted something today about how often you should, update your website with new content. And this is my general rule of thumb. So if you're wanting to update your website regularly because of SEO, right? You want to drive more traffic to it, and you know that you need to update your website regularly, but you're not sure how often. This is what I tell people. So at least 2 times a week, if you're in a competitive, large metro area, like an LA, a Houston, anywhere big, because there's going to be a lot of advisors all competing to come up first if someone types in financial advisor San Diego, right? So 2 times a week, quality content on your website. And that can be a blog, a podcast, an article, some sort of original piece of content that you put on there that contains those keywords. If you are in a smaller market that's not as large of a metro area, you can get away with like bi-weekly and still do pretty well. If you are in a really specific niche, you can really honestly even go as low as once a month, as long as the content is highly specific to that niche and really good quality content, right? So for instance, there's somebody I connected with recently, and it's an advisor that focuses on doing financial planning for people that work at Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical company. So that's such a highly targeted niche. There's not that many advisors doing that you can get away with not posting as often, if that makes sense. Okay. Some more questions coming in. Google My Business. So people have questions about Google My Business. So for those of you that are not aware of Google My Business, it is just when you go and you search for a company online. So if I just search 20 over 10 college, right? Somebody looks you up. This thing right over here on the right, this whole section is Google My Business. So it's a free tool that you can set up to allow you to showcase your business. So you can add the photos that appear here. So if I click on see photos, you can see different photos. You can choose whatever the photos you want. You can see the office space. You can see where it is on a map. Most importantly, people can also review your business here, right? So you can see 20 over 10 has 10 5-star Google reviews, which is awesome. A lot of people have talked in the past about what's a really easy thing you can do to boost your SEO. It is to set up and optimize your Google My Business. So this is completely separate from your website, from anything else. You set it up with Google. You just have to verify that this is your business, this is your location, and you want to fill it out and create a really robust profile. So Amanda just linked some articles in there for you about Google My Business and how to optimize it. But a lot of people haven't done this yet, and this will help you rank higher locally than your competition if a lot of other advisors in your area haven't done this. So you want to add at least 6 photos. You want to get reviews. You want to make sure that, it's linked on the map. And you can even see here, like under this appointments, if you click this, it will open our calendar. So people can find us on Google My Business and immediately just book a session with our team right through that appointment scheduler. They can also call our company, get directions, ask us questions, all around here. There has been a lot of questions from different people about Google reviews as an advisor. Here's the thing. If you are able to set up a Google My Business profile and your compliance department allows you to do that, you cannot prevent someone from reviewing your business on Google. Even if you don't have a Google My Business profile, but you have claimed your location on Google Maps, someone can still review your business through Google Maps. So there's really no way to prevent anyone from creating a review. So I have a whole video, Amanda's linking to that, about this topic. There's a lot of gray area because people see the review as a testimonial. But as long as if anyone can leave you a review, no one can control this. Google makes it that anyone can leave a review for a business if they're verified on Google Maps. Once they leave you a review, what you don't want to do so that you're not defying compliance in any way, you don't want to comment on the review positively or negatively, ever. Don't ever say anything about it. Don't comment on it, respond to it, anything like that. And you never want to reshare or repost those reviews anywhere, because that could be deemed being going against compliance because you can't republish them. But anyone technically can leave a review for any business on Google Maps that has been verified. So again, you just want to set this up. You want to optimize it. We have that post all about how to optimize it and why it's so crucial and key. But of course, Google wants to keep people in its platform as much as possible, right? It doesn't want you going off of Google. It wants to show you more ads. It wants to give you the best user experience. So if you're interested in 20 over 10 and you can come right here and never go to our website and book an appointment, call us, get directions, people appreciate, or Google is going to keep you on their page, and people appreciate having that access directly to that information. So that's why they do that. Okay. More questions. Let's see, where's the one about, if you have more than one office or more than one financial advisor. So if you have more than one financial advisor, but you're all under one office, you would just still use one Google My Business listing for the name. So if it's Russell Investments and you have 10 advisors, Russell Investments would have the Google My Business page. They're not individual pages, they're company pages. So it would be for your company. But if you have more than one office, you would still want to claim all those offices on the map. And there is a way to do that. You can go to Google support and talk and, search. I don't think we have a whole article about that, Amanda, but you can search under Google's support center, how do I claim more than one listing, and they will give you instructions on how to do that. We have set that up for people through our SEO package. So if you're a 20 over 10 customer and you're interested in getting help with lots of things related to SEO, we have an SEO package that's $800 for our customers, where we will set up, your Google My Business, your Google Search Console. We will take care of all these kinds of things for you. So that's certainly worth checking out if you are a customer of ours. Okay, great questions, everyone. Thanks. So Amanda did put in the support article from Google, because she's amazing, where you can find that. So someone's asking, how can they control the text that appears in Google search? This is a great question. So you can see here, someone types in 20 over 10 State College. This is all what comes up. So these main purple sections right here, that's called your page title. And then the gray section underneath, that's called your meta description. You can control all of that through your website platform. So if you are a 20 over 10 customer, again, if you go into the page settings, the browser page title right here, that's what's going to appear right here. Right? So that purple text where it says 20 over 10 websites for financial advisors, that's what you want to put in your browser page title. We always recommend, for most of you advisors who are trying to rank high in a local geographic area, that you put your location first, then your second keyword, and then the company name after that. That's the formula you want to follow. For the meta description, if you just keep scrolling down under SEO, that's where you put the meta description. So the gray text that appears right here, that is what you would put under this SEO description. So that's how you can control what appears. And you can do that for every blog post, every page on your website. Great questions. Okay, I am going to stop sharing for just a second and pull up more of the questions that we got in. Okay, so some questions about boosting Facebook and other social media posts, and what's the difference between like an ad and a boosted post. So for 99% of financial advisory firms that I work with, what I recommend and what will really work best is post organically. So don't use paid ads out of the gate. Post content organically. And then Facebook will tell you which of your posts are performing really well and tell you, would you like to boost this post? If you boost that post, then you're basically adding money to it as an ad, making it like a sponsored post. So it's not technically an ad because it originally was organic content that you just posted to the platform without any money behind it, but you can boost it by adding some money and making it sponsored. That's usually the best way to go because you're allowing yourself to do a little bit of testing to see what organic content is performing best, and then only boosting the content that's already performing well. That's the best strategy and the one that I recommend. It's also a lot easier to track and manage, and then you can kind of A/B test different things within Facebook's platform. Okay. For Google Ads, personally, I find that most people, when they're doing a Google search and an ad comes up, they usually kind of now have trained their eyes to scan over the top 3 results because they know that they're ads, and they go down into what the organic listings are. So I don't actually recommend Google Ads for most financial advisors, financial planners. Instead, what I recommend is doing a great job of creating great content that people can find organically, because people also trust organic content much more. So instead of worrying about Google Ads, I would think about putting that same amount of money into maybe hiring someone who can help you write more, produce more content, so that you can rank higher for those same search terms. And that kind of leads me into another question that we got a lot of questions about, which is, how targeted does my niche need to be? You know, if I'm more of a generalist, isn't that better because lots more people will want to work with me? I don't want to alienate any one person who might be interested. And there's a lot that we could say about that, but what it comes down to is people don't just go online and search a term like financial advisor, right? They're not going to do that. Think about your own behavior when you go to look for something. If you want to find a plumber, you might go online and write plumbers in Phoenix, Arizona, or the best plumber in Phoenix, Arizona. Or you might search something like, how do I unclog my toilet? Like a very specific phrase. You're looking for help with something. And so what you want your website to be able to do is come up when people are searching for that, right? So we had a webinar we did last month with Kyle Moore, who's a CFP who uses 20/10. We created his website for him and helped him with his marketing strategy and his SEO. And he had one blog post on his blog, can capital gains push me into a higher tax bracket? Well, when corporate executives were searching for that phrase, they would land on his website, and some of them turned into actual clients of his, right? So that is the strategy you really want to employ, because those people are finding him and they already see him as the expert in this topic. They don't feel like he was trying to sell to them. He wasn't, showing up in their LinkedIn inbox saying, hey, I see you're a corporate executive. Would you like to hear about this strategy? They found him. And that's called inbound marketing. So when someone can find you and already see you as the expert, that's when they're going to immediately find you to be more credible, because it's you putting free information out there that could be useful to anyone. And when they land and stumble upon it and then they start reading all your other blog posts, they'll think, man, I want to work with this person, right? So that is the strategy that I suggest using. And the reason that that's different than putting a little bit of money behind like a Facebook boosted post is that on Facebook and those kinds of places, when you're already sharing the organic content and it's boosting your post, so it's just showing up in more people's feeds, people are scrolling. They're not necessarily looking for an ad on what you're trying to sell them. They're just going to see it in their feed. Whereas when they go to Google and they're searching something like, financial advisors in Phoenix, and they see you as this ad at the top, it just feels salesy. It feels like someone's trying to sell their services to them. But if there's a list that you've helped curate of the top 10 best advisors in Phoenix, Arizona, And on that list, you got together with your other advisor friends in Phoenix, and you are the person listed there for people that are 5 years away from retirement. And your friend, John is the person there for people in Phoenix who are tech executives looking for help. And your friend Jan is there for, young families looking for advisors. And you've, created this list that somebody will listen to a lot more because it's not an ad, it's organic, it's showing them here's a bunch of different options depending on what you're looking for. So you can use tactics like that as well to have content marketing work for you. Great questions. Okay, keep the questions coming. So I'm going to share my screen again because I got some more questions about content and how to create content and what you should be thinking about when you're creating content. So obviously for all of you, if your job is to run a business as an advisor, you are not by nature a content marketer. And I completely understand that. And it can be really overwhelming to try to produce all the content that we tell you that you need to produce. That being said, for all the reasons I just explained, content marketing is really the new sales tactic that works better than anything else. And it's really the one that advisors who adopt that tactic see the best results. So let me share my screen again. And thank you all for bearing with me. Like I said, this is my first time doing it live like this. So hopefully you're all going to get a lot out of it. Okay. So we have a tool in our website platform. You can think about getting content in lots of different places. The reason that I wanted my team to create this was because I worked with so many advisors, just like all of you, who told me I cannot create all this content. And then they would go and they would, get syndicated content from the New York Times or the Motley Fool or whatever and put it on their websites, but it was still obvious it wasn't written by them. So it doesn't make them look like they're the thought leader to lend that credibility. So we kept thinking, how can we help advisors ghostwrite content, but do it at scale because we're trying to help so many people, right? So we created something called Content Assist that you can deploy. It's also part of our new platform that we have coming out called Lead Pilot, where it's content that you can use that's ghost written, but you can make it your own, right? So if you want to post something about life insurance or about refinancing your mortgage, whatever the case may be, instead of just posting it as is, you can make it your own, right? So let's find one that would be interesting. Oh, you know what? I think I already have one set up. So yeah, here's one. So if you wanted to take this article that we had about the true cost of refinancing your mortgage, you could add in Orlando, Florida to it, and then say something like, over the last 10 years, working with families throughout Orlando, we did X, Y, or Z, and then share this. It's a lot easier to work from a piece of content that's partially developed than one that is, you got to start from scratch. You have a blank screen staring at you. If you don't use 20/10's content, you can use the same principle in other ways. You can hire an intern, have them source topics for you, have them come up with ideas of what you could write about, create the skeleton outline, find the stats and the statistics and the links, put together the first draft, and then send it to you, and then you edit it and put it up on your website or your blog, right? But however you need to get it done, you need to produce some content at least monthly, like I showed you and when we initially started here, in order to really be able to compete against, everybody else through those kinds of Google searches. Okay. More questions coming in. Great. Let me just see. Keep the questions coming, everyone. I got them in a couple different places, so I'm trying to find them all. And sorry, we're not going to unmute anybody who's raising their hand just because we're using YouTube Live and Zoom. So you have to type your question in, but thank you for continuing to do that. So some people asked questions about, where is it here? Oh, I got the question, this one came in advance. You put out so much great content, but it can be overwhelming for someone like me, who's a one-person shop, to do it all. If you had to give 3 tips, what would those 3 tips be? So I wrote this up ahead of time. The first one that I would say is to do the 5-second test on your website. So this is a quick assessment that I've done a whole webinar on, as well as a quick video and what you do, but it's really simple. You go up to a stranger and you ask them to look at the homepage of your website, and within 5 seconds, tell you what it's all about. So you ask them, what did you remember seeing? What's the company name? Who do they serve? And if they say things like, oh, I think it's something to do with finance, or it looks like they help people with money, they might be on the right track. But if they can't say something like, this company helps tech executives plan for retirement, like a very straight to the point answer, then you're really missing the mark, because people are going to make an assessment about your website within just 5 seconds, right? And the way that people find you is often different now, right? So rather than just get referrals from their family and friends, a lot of times people go to Facebook and they go into like a community group, or they just post on their own Facebook page. Hey, does anyone have a great financial advisor that you recommend I work with? In fact, I have, Amanda, can you guys still see this, the digital shift, how referrals happen today?
Yeah, but it's not full screen.
Oh, okay. Let me just fix that.
Oh,
so
wait. It's gone now. Sorry.
Oh, it's gone. Here we go. Is that better?
Yep.
So this is like an example, right? People go online and they say, hey, can you help me find a financial advisor? Who do you recommend looking? People are going to give links. They're going to give websites to advisors, and then they'll probably look at anywhere from 2 to 10 of those, and then they'll look up those people's websites. So if you are one of 3 or 4 advisors that someone's checking out, you want your initial homepage to really capture them and just be like a pack of 1-2 punch, right? You can't just say something like financial freedom coming your way or some generic statement. It needs to be very specific. I help employees at ExxonMobil plan for retirement, or I help young families stress for time delegate their financial to-do list. Whatever your statement is, you need to be specific. And that goes back to that point about why having a niche is so important, because if I am a young family or the mother of a young family, and I ask my friends for their recommendations for advisors and I get this list, I need to be able to self-qualify who's going to be the best fit. I don't have time to go and interview in person 10 different advisors, right? And the people that are watching this post now, not only is Patricia going to get these answers, but everyone in Patricia's network is going to see these 31 advisors that are left in the comments, and they can all go and look and check those people out. So doing the 5-second test on your website is incredibly, incredibly important to make sure that you're hitting the right message. So definitely check that one out. Let me reshare again so that everyone can see. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing that I would recommend is, like I already talked about this, but to produce content at least bi-weekly. And then the third thing is to include a calendar app on your homepage. It is crazy what a difference it makes in the amount of leads you will get if you just include a link to a calendar right on the homepage of your website. At 20 over 10, we have this little schedule a demo button, but it's basically scheduling a phone call or a demo depending on what you ask for, and it links to our calendar app. I recommend Calendly. I think it's the most user-friendly, the most intuitive, but you can use Time Trade, Schedule Once, any of those. And the reason being is people don't want to stop and fill out a form and give a bunch of information. They want to be able to get your contact information, schedule a meeting on your calendar, and then know that they have that booked and ready to go. So if they're looking at advisors at 11 o'clock at night, they don't have to fill out a whole form, tell you why they're interested, email back and forth. They just book a time on your calendar. And then in the future, next week, they know that they need to be prepped for that meeting. We actually, when we launched 20 over 10, we did not have a link to a calendar for people to schedule even right on the homepage. And when we added it, the number of calendar bookings that we had per week went up by like 150%. It was some crazy number. So definitely that's the 3 tips. Produce content regularly, at least bi-weekly, do the 5-second test on your website, and then have somebody help you make changes to it, and then get the calendar linked, right on the homepage of your site. Okay. Keep the questions coming. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through all of them. How do we know the content that we are producing is going to be optimized for SEO? So you want to make sure that it is optimized for SEO. If you're looking for just general tips to get started and you come in here and you search SEO, we have so many great resources. And again, our company specializes in working with advisors. So all the examples we're going to give you, everything we're going to teach you is going to be specific to advisors. But you can see all kinds of things here, like how to make sure that you're optimizing your website, making sure your blogs are ranking for SEO. So if you just come to our blog, blog.20over10.com, and search SEO, you can get all kinds of checklists. Mostly you just want to think about what are the phrases people are going to be searching for, and how do I write content about those phrases, right? So we, think about, can financial advisors have Google reviews? We know that's a question a lot of you are going to type into Google to look for. So when we write a post about that, that's what we want to title the post. If a lot of your clients are going to ask, can capital gains push me into a higher tax bracket? You can write a post about that. And the way the Google algorithm works is more complicated. So yes, that might be a little bit more of a competitive phrase. And there could be other advisors in the US that are also talking about that. But if you're based in Minneapolis and you write a post on that topic, and somebody else who's based in Minneapolis searches for something like that, they're going to have a much higher chance of finding you, because Google wants to give them not only the best content, but Google thinks in its, the algorithm, oh, this person may also be looking for help figuring this out. So I'd rather give them somebody who's local to them and has that answer as well. So hopefully that makes sense when you're thinking about your content. Amanda is sharing so many great links in the chat box. So I got a question, will we be able to get these links later? Yes, we can make sure that we give you these links after the fact in an email so that you can go through all of them, because I know we're throwing them at you really quickly. Okay, I had some questions about scheduling posts and what's the best way to schedule them out and what can I do? So again, we had so many advisors asking us questions about, what tool should I use for email marketing? What tool should I use for social media scheduling? What tool should I use for lead generation? And we were always feeling awful because we were giving them, okay, you can use MailChimp for email marketing and you can use Hootsuite for social media scheduling, but then you still have to create your own content, but you can use the content from our library. And it just felt like a lot of different tools to have to use. And because again, you're not all marketers, it felt overwhelming to us to give that advice, let alone we couldn't imagine what it felt like to be on the receiving end of it, right? So we decided to create a tool specifically to help solve this problem. The official launch date for the tool is February of 2020, but we are doing some exclusive access soft launch right now. But I just wanted to show you, it is called Lead Pilot. It will be coming down the pipeline. So if you will be looking for something to help you be able to schedule out content, in advance, or to send emails and to collect leads, this is a tool that you might want to look at. So we will have a content library. It will have editorial content as well as video and interactive content, but you can schedule out your social media posts through here. So you can see I have nothing scheduled, but you can explore, the piece of content. And then once you choose it, you can create a draft of it. You can share it to your different social networks and create, different customized messages for each one. Just move everything over here. So that you can, make the message very specific to each one. So this tool is incredibly powerful because rather than having to use a bunch of different tools, you're able to use everything in one. So as your contacts come in, the populate into this field. If somebody only gives you their email, like you can see here, just Samantha at 20over10.com, you can go in and actually view a whole bunch more information about them. So under this profile insights, you can see a picture we can source for you, where they live, how old they are, male or female, their job history, what they're interested in. We're scraping the internet to get all of this different data for you. And then most excitingly, as they interact with your content and fill out your leads, a lead score is given to them. And so if their lead score gets really high, you know that they've interacted with your content either recently or very often, and that's a great lead to pick up the phone or to drop a separate email to, right? So this tool will have email marketing capability, the content to share, as well as the social media scheduling all in one. So hopefully that will help a lot of you who have been interested. Amanda put the link to our landing page if you want to learn more and get more info in the coming weeks and months. We may be opening up more spots for the early access period. You can drop your email in there. For those of you that are already using other tools, I get a lot of questions about, HubSpot or MailChimp. I, only know those tools so much as, kind of on the periphery as I've seen other advisors using them. And so in terms of which tool is best, for those of you already using those kinds of tools, I think you just have to find a tool that you're the most comfortable using. One of the things we really tried to do with 20 over 10's website engine, as well as Lead Pilot, as we've been building it, is think about a tool is not good if it has all these different capabilities, but it's too many capabilities that you can't use it. So when you are all thinking about your tech stack and what, technology to use, don't get caught up in a million different features if you're not going to actually use them, right? You want it to be simple and easy to use and streamlined to get the job done, right? Done and good is better than not done and perfect. If you're striving for perfection, but you never end up getting anything accomplished, that's terrible. The tool's not serving you. So you really want a tool that is going to be easy to use. And that's what you want to look for in a tool more than anything, something you will actually use to get things done. If you're trying to track code, somebody was asking about tracking codes in different pages for retargeting ads or like even HubSpot codes. Should I track it in all pages or just specific pages? It's really up to you and what goals you're trying to accomplish. I would say for retargeting, we add the code to every single page, right? Because if we're going to show ads later, we would rather that ad be shown to anyone who landed on any 20 over 10 property at any time. So that's the way we do it. And it doesn't hurt. It just takes a few extra minutes. So I would put them on all of the pages. And for most of you, your websites are pretty light. You're not going to have, millions and millions of pages. You're not like Target or Crate and Barrel where you're an e-commerce platform. So it shouldn't be that difficult to set up that tracking code on all of your pages. Okay. Let's see here. More questions. Oh, on either 20 over 10's platform, website platform, or in Lead Pilot, on either platform, on all of our products, we want you to be the original voice, the original content creator. So yes, you can absolutely create your own content as a blog or a landing page on any. So under add new in our website platform, you just click original content. You can add all of your own information in there. If you are on Lead Pilot, got it here again, and you go under content, you can click compose and you can add in your own content here. So upload your picture, all of your content there. So better than anything is original content you create yourself. 100%. Anyone telling you otherwise is not being truthful. That's going to give you the best bang for your buck. However, like I said, it's much better for you to start with a ghostwritten piece and edit it to fit your audience and your vision than to not have anything at all, right? So we want to give you both options there. Okay. Got some questions about video that we can talk about. So I am really bullish on video. I absolutely love video. If you go to my LinkedIn feed, you'll see I share a video every single week, pretty much. Let's see here. Actually, let's go to our YouTube channel. Actually, I don't want to pull YouTube up since we're streaming YouTube live at the same time. But if you go to YouTube to 20 over 10, you'll see our YouTube channel, and we share a YouTube video every single week. we have so many great resources for you if you are interested in getting started with video that we've created videos on. So video marketing, what tools you need, what you need to get started, everything you could possibly think of, where you should upload it. At the end of the day, simple is better. So I record all the video that you all see me sharing either on Zoom, which is the platform we're using right now, which is using the camera on my MacBook Pro, on my iPhone. This is not the iPhone 11, but it's so it's the iPhone 10, but it's got a great camera, and I'll just record it horizontally, propped up with some good lighting, and then upload it to YouTube. I don't do any special editing or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. I use a tool called Loom, L-O-O-M, sometimes if I want to share my screen and have my face be bigger than what Zoom will allow. And all of those tools offer free versions. So if you're just getting started, use what's already in your back pocket. Use a free tool because it's easy. You don't need any special technology. You just need good lighting and a room that's pretty soundproof so that you can cut out the distractions in the background. So that's what I do for video. For social media, when you upload the video, we use a tool called Headliner that Amanda can link to add captions. Most people watch videos on social media with the sound turned off, or they scroll through them. So you wanna add captions so they can get the crux of what you're talking about without needing to turn the sound on. And Headliner is a great tool for that. And then we upload them to YouTube without the captions, but in the YouTube, when we upload it, we will write out all of what was actually verbally said. So that way it's good for SEO. So YouTube is the second most used search engine after people go into Google. And so you can really get found through people just searching for things and stumbling across your video. But in order to do that, you need to make sure you title it appropriately and that you put in a really great, you know, I don't want to say caption. What's the word I'm looking for? That you basically the transcript, there we go, the transcript of what it is you talked about. And that's a great compliance tip as well. So if you record a video and you need to get it approved by compliance before you post it, you can get a transcription of the video and take that whole transcript of everything you said, submit that to compliance, have them approve the content on paper, and then go ahead and upload it. So that way you have a nice compliance workflow to get all those videos approved. Great questions, everyone. Okay. Any other questions about tools we can share? Please let us know, whether it's calendar tools or video tools or ad tools, anything like that. For remarketing, we use something called AdRoll. And for those of you not aware what remarketing is, if you ever have gone somewhere and like visited a website, like you went to buy a pair of jeans at Nordstrom, and then everywhere you went online later that day, you saw ads from Nordstrom about those jeans, that's retargeting. Remarketing is also what it's called. So you add a little tracking code on all the pages of your website, and then you can use a company like AdRoll to create those ads so that after people leave your website, they're still being hit, you know, by you. For most of you, you're not going to need to do that. But that's what we're talking about. So everybody's in the loop here. Okay, more questions. Somebody said, I've always had a client newsletter I send out to current clients. You just created my website and now I have a white paper. People can get it in exchange for providing their email. I want to start using email marketing on this group of leads, but it's new and I don't know what to start. What do you recommend? So the first thing that I recommend is that segmenting is really key. You don't want to be sending the same message to all of the people that are in, you know, your email marketing provider every single week or every month. And by the way, in terms of how often, you can really email your list up to once a week, most research has shown, without people unsubscribing. Any more than that, and you may start to get some unsubscribes. So up to once a week is the rule of thumb. But again, it needs to be content worth sharing. So don't email them once a week just because. One of my favorite emails that I get only comes once a month, but it's chock full of like the best content. And it really is one that I look forward to opening, right? But it's only sent once a month. So that is definitely a good rule of thumb. In terms of segmenting, I always suggest having one list for your current clients, and you can segment them into, like retirees, pre-retirees, however you want to segment it. You can segment it by like topics they're interested in. The most important thing is thinking about the rest of the people on the list that are not currently a client, right? So what about like where they came from? So you can have everybody who signed up for a webinar or an event that you did be on one list. And then everybody who like maybe you got from LinkedIn messages that you connected with be on another list, or anyone who downloaded a white paper be on another list. So segmenting them is really important. Once you segment them based upon how you got their information, you should know a little bit about what they're interested in, and then you can start sending them those newsletters. And then based upon what they read in the newsletter, you can send them more content. So if you see that they're really clicking on all of your retirement content, you'd want to send them more retirement content. If they're not clicking on anything that's related to home buying, don't send them more home buying. The biggest mistake I see people making is they'll get someone who downloads a white paper or an ebook, and they immediately start attacking them with sales messages, right? There's a reason that person didn't book a meeting on your calendar and just try to talk with you in person. It's because they're not ready yet. They want to just kind of gauge your thought leadership and get some of your content. So instead, what I recommend that you do after they sign up, you give them the white paper, the guide, whatever it is they signed up for. And then maybe a week later, there should be an intro email with something like, thanks for signing up for my newsletter or my white paper. I have a newsletter that I send out to everyone who downloaded that guide that goes out once a month. It's full of great tips all about retirement planning. I'm going to go ahead and add you to that, and hopefully you'll find the content useful. And then maybe, after you see what they click on, you can follow back up with additional information like a month later saying, hey, I saw that you have been really reading all of my articles on X. I help people just like you do Y. Would you like to set up a time to talk? If so, here's my calendar link. If not, continue enjoying all of my free, content on this topic. So that's the way that you want to approach that. Hopefully that's helpful. In terms of subject lines and sender names, one of the other big mistakes I see people doing, I get email newsletters from so many advisors that we've worked with, which I love. And almost always they'll have, Russell Investments or Upland Financial Network. The name of the company will be the sender name in the email. You don't want to do that. You want to put a personal person in there, right? So it should be something like Samantha, 20/10, or Amanda at Lead Pilot. That's the way you want to address the email in the sender name, because that's going to get you way more open rates. And then in terms of subject line, we have a whole blog post about all of the different do's and don'ts when it comes to, what subjects get the highest open rates. You want to avoid exclamation points. You want to avoid using words like free. So even if you have like a free guide, free can put you in somebody's spam. You really just want to make it seem almost like it's coming a person-to-person email, right? So if you were sending an email to somebody that was a potential prospect, just one-off email from your Outlook, you might say something like some information for you about retirement. That could be an email subject line that you use. It doesn't need to be super markety. And in fact, the ones that have come across as the most informal often get the highest open rates. Okay. Somebody asked, do we have a preference for or against one-page scrolling websites? If you have a website that is not very chock full of content, it's pretty short and to the point, having everything on one page that people can just keep scrolling is a great way to capture people's attention and keep them going. If you're looking for examples of all different kinds of websites, by the way, and you come to our blog under the showcase page, we have so many different roundups and options for you. So this one's all faith-based advisor websites. This one's investment advisors. We have before and after transformations, specific networks, all different kinds that you can take a look at. But I think that, overall, we just really want to think about how much content do you have before we design the website. If your website's really content heavy, you're going to need a lot more pages than just one page. But if you don't have a lot of content, you can probably get away with just one, right? And so what we're talking about here is, you can see, you know, as I scroll, I keep scrolling and scrolling, and the page that I'm on is changing in the blue, right? So if we go up to home and we click services and fees, it just pops us down. That is showing us that this is a one-page scrolling website, versus if I'm on this website and I click about us, it's actually taking us to a whole separate page. Now we can still scroll within the page, but there are different pages on this website. So that's what we're talking about. So again, it really comes down to content and how much content you have. You would not want to do all your content on one page if you have a very dense amount of content. Okay. We're coming up to the top of the hour. You guys have had so many, guys and gals have had so many amazing questions, and I have not gotten to all of them. We will take as much of this information as we can and put it into an email and send it to everyone so that you can scroll through it. If you are a current 20 over 10 customer and you're looking for help using our platform, what you really want to go to is support.20over10.com. And we have, you can submit a ticket, you can search certain topics. And then we also have all of these video tutorials that you can take that are actual videos, 1 and 2 minutes long, that teach you how to do different things on demand. So you can do this at any time. And of course you can always, you know, ask for specific help, but that's a great way to get help there. And if you are looking for more just digital marketing help, you can email marketing@20over10.com, and we will do consultation sessions. We require a minimum of 3, and they're $250 per session, but that's a great way to get help, you know, with your specific questions that you need. You do need to be a 20 over 10 customer to get that help, by the way. But you can also, again, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there. You can also connect with me or 20 over 10 on LinkedIn, which it looks like a lot of you are doing. Again, I'm just Samantha C. Russell is my username. And we share more information, but I'm going to do one of these AMAs every other week from now through the end of the year. Try it out, see how many people sign up, what kind of questions people ask, to give, you know, to block off this hour to make myself available for all of you and answer as many questions as I can in that 1 hour. So hopefully this was helpful. If you go to our website and you click learn, you will see all of the different sessions we have coming up. So whether it's a do-it-yourself live training, if you're trying to build a site on your own, more of our office hours, you can sign up for the future office hours there. And hopefully if we didn't get to your question this time, we will get to it next time. So thank you everyone so much for all of your questions today. And again, got to as many of them as I could. And I hope that you found this helpful and that we will see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.